We're diving into a grungy vintage junk journal project, and today we're kicking things off by crafting the front and back covers. Welcome, it's Barbara from Vienna, Austria. What I want to work with today is this vintage book cover. I found this book at a flea market a long time ago, and the spine is already totally coming apart. I have taken out most of the book pages. There's a few left here. I don't know why. The cool thing is that this book is actually from Vienna, where I live. So how cool. And the papers I want to use, at least partially, are these, which is one of my newest kits. It's called Lives Remembered. And I printed these pages actually as test pages for my printable. They're just printed on regular copy paper. And of course, these would be a shame to waste. I think they look totally fine. So I want to use these for this project. This is the vibe I'm going for here. These are obviously printed out a lot smaller. I have these both in A4 and US letter size available. The links are down below. Obviously, you can do this kind of project with whatever you have at hand. So these are printed by printing 2 pages on one sheet of paper and then shrinking those down to 80%. The first thing I want to do is cut off the spine here. This should be very easy because it's already falling off. We'll keep that. Maybe I'll use that in another project. I'm not sure yet. I might actually want to leave this grungy edge. It's actually beautiful. And for the back, I'm just going to tear this part off. I'm guessing I have the other block somewhere. I would just have to find it. But it has the beautiful old German writing. Oh, I forgot. I should probably take this off as well. You can definitely use this. By the way, the title of the book, in case you're wondering, in German it's Ein Stern fiel vom Himmel, meaning a star fell from the sky. And I want to keep this original grungy cover intact, basically. Obviously, I'll be adding things to the front, but we will see these grungy edges. So for today, I want to concentrate on this front panel, and the image I would like to use as a focal point for today is this one. So in my imagination, these are 2 sisters and they're 2 artists. And I printed this page out again on matte photo paper. So here you see a difference, and also I printed it a little bit bigger. This one I printed also 2 pages on one paper, so that shrank it down to 50%. And then I said I wanted this 90%, so it is a little bit bigger than this image. You can maybe see it's just a very small difference. And you can see here the quality difference as well. This one is much smoother, but it's also a lot darker. So you see here, we see all the details still on her dress or jacket, I think it is. But here, those are mostly gone. So when you print on photo paper, your images will come out darker. That's something to consider as well. So I'm going to start off by cutting out this image, including the paper underneath here. As usual with my projects, I do not have a clear final picture in my head because I always just go step by step, and I have a really hard time picturing the end result when I don't see the individual pieces. Like in this case, I can't picture this without seeing this cut out like this, you know what I mean? I don't know if that's how you work, but that's how I work. This way, it's also a lot less overwhelming, because this way the project is just a succession of tiny steps that I think in. Instead of thinking of this big project that I have to complete, I just do tiny steps. And I just realized I cut out the wrong photo. I cut out the one from the copy paper instead of the one from the photo paper. The reason why I wanted the photo paper was because the quality is a bit smoother of this photo. Yeah, talking and working is difficult. So there is my photo. I also want this photo to be raised a little bit. So I want to add some cardboard underneath. I have this one, which is from some packaging. It's not too thick. So I'll glue this one on and then I'll cut that out again. So I'll just use my art glitter glue. You use any glue you want. You could do this even with original photos if you dare. That takes a lot of courage. So now I have a nice thick piece for my cover. I like that. I have my glove on. That means I'm working with Distress Oxides. Let's put the cover aside because obviously I don't want to leave the edges like they are. I'm going to use this Distress Oxide Vintage Photo Re-Inker. This is one of the few re-inkers I have. You don't need one of these. You can do that just with your ink pads. Go over the sides with them, either with a brush or directly. You could also just use a marker or acrylic paints, watercolor, whatever you have. But I just want to try this method. So I'm just going along the edge to color them. This seems to be working really well. I could put several layers to make it more dark. And I was hoping that this would happen, that it would also come into the photo to add some grunge. Obviously, I do want to be careful that it doesn't go into their face. Maybe I should have like a kitchen towel at hand. Don't want this getting out of hand. This has huge potential to get super messy. The fine line between beautiful vintage grunge and a complete mess. Whoops. See, that is coming in a bit far. I'm so worried about messing up their faces. Look at the back. It's a complete disaster. Okay, let's put this here. I'm so happy I wore my gloves. I'm going to dry this before any major catastrophes happen with this photo. Okay, I didn't quite succeed with my fingers. And I see now that this is still too light for me, and I actually did get a tiny bit on her face. But that I can live with because that looks like it's a damaged photo, so that's okay. But I do want my edges to be a bit darker, so I'm going to add some ground espresso Distress Oxide with my foam blending brush. Probably would have been easier to just do that from the beginning. But I do like these spots here. Then obviously I want some more interest around them. So I'm going to take some of these printouts, the ones with my regular copy paper, and I'll tear around it. I want a nice irregular edge. And then I want to like really grunge this up, fold it, tear it some more. Crinkle it. I'll go around the edges with my ground espresso to get really nice dark edges. Then let's see what it would look like if I add some of this original book page from the book. I'll take this as a template so that I know how much I can tear away. Actually, I'm covering almost all of the text Okay, and this one I'm also crumpling up. I do have to be a little bit more careful because since this is vintage paper, it will tear more easily, which is fine, but I want it to be intentional. I also have some cheesecloth here, which is already dyed. I'm not sure with what because I was gifted this, but it's like a beautiful beige color. So what would that look like if we add a piece just peeking out from underneath the photo? Yeah, I think I like that as well. And then I have another fun piece to add. Since I said these two are artists, I found this nasty looking paintbrush at a flea market. I think I paid 50 cents for it. And I love it. Obviously, you could grunge up your own paintbrushes. But I really love that this is an actual vintage paintbrush. And I think adding a piece of it down here is going to look really good. I just need to saw off a piece here, and I'm hoping that this is wood. Yeah, I think it's wood. So I recently purchased at the hardware store this saw. Obviously, I've never used it. So I will try this here, not on camera, and hopefully I'll be back with all fingers intact. I did it! I'm so proud. All fingers intact. Please be careful if you use a saw. I actually did a horrible job, you can see here. Yeah, it's not a straight line, but it's totally fine. So now I just want to smoothen the edge a little bit so that there's no splinters or anything. This is just one of these sanding discs. I should probably switch out. Okay, now it's nice and smooth. No danger of injury. Yeah. So, oh, I love it. I have to mention using a brush like this and putting elements like this on your cover is very much inspired by Alex Castro Ferreira, whose course Keeper of Memories I took a while ago. So just in case you happen to be watching Alex, thank you so much for all of your inspiration. I will link Alex's website for you below so you can also check out her online courses. I was lucky enough to have an in-person workshop with her here in Vienna, but she has amazing online courses, and also she has amazing destination art courses. Maybe one day I can manage to go on one of those as well. Anyway, so, okay, we have this. I also have this cute metal label here. It's not a label, it's a label holder, I guess. Let's see what that would look up here. Well, that's not bad either. And I wouldn't even like put any alcohol ink or anything on it. I think it's beautiful as it is. It does come with brads, so that will be easy to mount. And of course, then I want a title or a label or something underneath. And that label could maybe say Sisters. That could be the title of this journal. And we could use this book page, which came from here, to make the label. So to figure out the size, I'm just going to trace this and then cut it a little bit smaller, and that should then work. Oh, way too big. What was I doing? Okay, that's perfect. I was thinking I could just write Sisters in pencil because that seems artsy to me. Just have to make sure it actually fits in the frame. Challenging endeavor when you don't like your own handwriting. But we'll just give it a shot. Oh, it's moving. Okay, at least I know where to start now. Messy, artsy. I'll just dab some glue on the edges here so that this stays in place. I'm happy with this, so I'm going to take my awl and poke some holes so I can mount it before I glue it down. Actually, I think I'll mount it through both papers, meaning I will first glue the pieces together. So let's do top down. So I'll start by gluing this onto my cheesecloth. Then we'll add some more glue on top. Do we need some black threads? We need black threads. In the last second. I want them to peek out on the top and the bottom just because of the shape of the book. Oh. Good job, Barbara. Okay, let's add some more glue. Then let's put some glue on this one. And I'm smooshing this together a little bit so that I get some folds. Just by pushing it together. I think I do want a little darker edge on the book page. And again, I'm going to push this a little bit together. And you've probably been screaming at me, Barbara, you forgot your label. Yep, I totally forgot the label. Oh, I can gently, gently lift this. Oh, this is completely tearing. I knew this would happen. Okay, I just need this part to lift off. Let's mark where the holes need to go. So the label goes here, 1 and 2. These brads have such tiny legs. This is going to be a challenge. Okay, so I managed that, and now I can glue this back on. And for the paintbrush, I'm going to use my PVA glue because it's thicker. I think that will hold better. Again, I should have done this before, but thankfully this is not glue from a glue gun, so I can still gently take this off. I always have these ideas after I put something down. So let's take off this glue because I want to add some wire. So I'm just going to wrap this around and maybe even then secure the paintbrush through the cover. That should do it. So I'll cut this off. Then I need to figure out where to make holes. We put this here again. I'll have one wire go through here. And the second one I'll have going through there. So I'll take my awl and punch through the cover. One, and the other one is here. Hopefully I can get my wire through there. Yeah. I forgot to add the glue because I still want to like double secure it with glue, I think. And now I will just twist these together. Cut the ends short. And then I can figure a way to cover these up when I decide what to do with the inside, or maybe I just leave it. I would be okay with that as well. Yeah, I like this better now. And since these sisters are artists, we need some paint splatters, obviously. I considered gold, but I think they need a little more contrast. So I'm going to go with black. Oh, wait. We need to cover up their faces for sure. And also I need to cover up the sisters sign. So I dried those. I like the way they look, but who am I kidding? I need gold. I feel like that's kind of my trademark in the meantime. So I have here a mixture of my beloved Van Gogh deep gold paint, thinned down with some water. It's all dry. Definitely has like a painterly effect now, I believe. And I'm happy with this result. So I hope you join me for the next part of this vintage junk journal adventure. Love you guys. Mwah! Mwah!